Hello and welcome back to the channel. In my previous video, we have completed the Kotobukiya D-Style Optimus Prime. So now we can move on to painting it. Today I'm going to introduce you my airbrushing setup that I've been using for many years. Before we continue, let's understand the basic safety precautions when we do airbrushing. Number one, we will be painting with acrylics, enamels and lacquer paints. So there will be fumes and particulates when the paints are atomized by the airbrush. They can be toxic and quite harmful to our health. So work in a well ventilated space. As you can see here, this is my workspace. It's right in front of a window. So I can just open a window, and behind the camera there is a fan blowing whatever toxic fumes out the window. If you have family members with health problems, breathing problems, you might want to reconsider using other methods of painting your model kits. Number two, wear appropriate protection. I know friends who are allergic to hobby paints that we use. I myself have developed some rashes on my hands at one point in time. So I recommend wearing disposable nitrile gloves if you are very allergic to paint. It protects your skin on your hands from rashes. I have this. This comes with a very tight seal. It comes with a filter. This is quite old, this is broken one, so I need to get a new one. For now, I use COVID N95 mask. It's not as good as this, but it's better than nothing. So if you have breathing problems, or if any of your family members have breathing problems, get your N95 mask and ask them to wear it when you are spraying. So number three, take a break. You need to take frequent breaks when you are doing spray painting, because the environment that you are in after you spray paint can be quite toxic. If you have breathing problems, you might want to walk away from spray painting for a while, get some fresh air, get the chemicals out of your system before you continue. I myself, I don't do more than 3 hours, and after a 3-hour spray painting session, I'll just close shop, do it again next day. Number four, keep your work area as clean as possible. I have a toilet roll right above my work area. Makes cleaning up easier. Some of the hobby paints that you have, they are flammable, especially thinner. So any spill, straight away wipe it off. After every paint session, I'll definitely clean my airbrush. You try to keep your tools as clean as possible. That's the safety precautions out of the way. Now we move on to my equipment. Okay, so the first two items that I'm going to introduce is the airbrush and compressor combo. You can't really use one without the other. So let's start with the air compressor. This is a Sparmax compressor. It comes with its own air tank. Now this is important.
Eventually,
now it stops. So having an air tank is important, because you imagine this sound droning all night long or all day long. It's going to drive people crazy. It's not always on all the time. The airflow is constant and stable. There will always be air in the tank even when the compressor is not running. Less noise, less overheating issues, longer longevity. I have this for like 9 years and it's still working. It's a zero maintenance compressor. However, you do have to release the water in the water trap every once in a while. That's the water trap. There's a bit of moisture inside the tank as well. There's a valve beneath the tank where you can unscrew the valve, and then you release the air and you release the water. Have a cloth beneath to capture all the water, because it's quite dirty water. You don't want it all over your floor. Other than that, there isn't much maintenance. Along with the compressor that I bought is the braided hose. The original hose that came with this compressor is one of those coil types. It's a good hose, but it gets tangled up in a lot of things very easily, so I got braided hose and also a quick release valve. This is the quick release. You can change airbrush quickly, because without this release valve you have to screw it in, and then it takes a long time, and then it's a lot of hassle. Highly recommend quick release. So the next part, we have the airbrush. This particular model is the Harden and Steenbeck airbrush. It's from Germany. I'm not sponsored by them. I bought this with my own money. I had the Sparmex one. It came with the air compressor. I still have it with me. It's kept somewhere. I can't remember where I kept it. It is a very good airbrush. I've been using this for the last 6 years. It's a fantastic airbrush. Solidly built. I keep it clean after every painting session. All my airbrushes are top feeding dual action airbrushes. What top feeding means is you feed the paint from the top and it flows down. Dual action means it's a push for air, pull for paint. What is it good for? It has the ability to draw fine lines to very thick lines. I'm not gonna touch so much on technique, because for me, I use it to spray big surface area, so I'm usually like full all the way, maybe about 3/4 of the way. Just know that it's a top feeding or gravity feed dual action airbrush. If you guys are interested in airbrush, let me know in the comments. I'll do a separate video on airbrush technology. Okay, the next item that I'm going to introduce you is spray booth. So a lot of people will usually ask, do you really need a spray booth? Let me share my perspective. I used to spray directly out the window, usually at night. And there is this one time, let's say this model kit part here, I was spraying out my window. Somehow I knocked on the part and it fell down the window and it disappeared forever. I could never find the part. It was a commission job. I had to buy a brand new model kit just to get that particular part and complete the job. Because of that, I got myself a spray booth. Whether you get a spray booth or get some cardboard box and spray into it, or like me, spray out the window, that's up for you to decide. For me, I would prefer to have a spray booth now. So more about this spray booth. Let me switch it on first. This is the spray booth when it's switched on. So there's a hose that goes out the window. It will draw all the fumes and the particulates out through the hose, out the window. And I'm not sure if you can see, like there is the hole with the exhaust fan. This is a piece of filter paper that I bought from my local hardware store. There's a tip to choosing spray booth. Get one that is the size of your shoulder width, so you don't have to fold yourself into such a small space when you are doing spray painting. This particular one is semi-translucent, so I put 2 LED lights on top. These are 12-volt LEDs. I'm using solar panels to charge a battery, and these are hooked up to the battery. And just switch them on and off with a remote, just to have a clearer view of what I'm spraying. Now, a lot of you are going to ask, what is this thing? This is actually a water curtain that I recently made myself. So what does it do? When I spray directly onto the water curtain. So the water will trap a large part of the particulates into the water basin. I don't have that much aerosol paint floating around the room. partnered together with the spray booth, blowing everything out the window. My room doesn't smell as bad as before I had this. It's still a work in progress. I'm hoping to do a bigger one. If you are interested in how I make this, drop me some comments, let me know. I'll do a video on how to actually DIY one of these. It's been working pretty well. I feel it's a bit too small. I'm hoping I can do a bigger one. Spray booth, water curtain. That's all the stuff I use for airbrushing. To me, the three most important stuff that you really need is your air compressor, airbrush, and your spray booth. A decent size spray booth. The water curtain is still experimental, I'm still working on it. Of course, there's paint racks, a lot of other small little stuff, but that's accumulated all over many years. You know what to get eventually. Get your workspace done up right, all your safety precautions, get a very well ventilated space. If you don't have a well ventilated space, please reconsider whether you can do airbrushing at home. That's all I have. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video where we'll be doing airbrushing. Thank you. Bye bye.